Happy Wednesday, fan-spiracy. How y'all doing? Your boy, Mystic Jinn.
T-Noble, how y'all doing, guys?
Well, it's gonna be a week of the ages, cause we're getting a battle of the ages.
Certainly, indeed.
I'm kind of like I thought it was a joke when years ago when I heard Jake Paul. I want to fight Mike Tyson, and then when it actually became a thing, I was like, the one thing I may not like. I don't like the Paul brothers. I'm just gonna say that. I have a very vested interest in. I want to see Tyson knock this kid.
Yeah,
But
I don't really know anybody that actually was just like, yeah, I want to fight him, and
yeah,
at the very
I got to
least
give
didn't
him
regret it.
props. He would never be in even really feeling myself would be I want to fight Mike Tyson. I can't think of a single sane person in the world that actually thinks I want to fight Mike Tyson.
It's crazy.
And all the kids oh, Jake Paul's gonna murder Mike Tyson. Don't understand. Mike Tyson damn near murdered people.
Didn't one or two of them actually die?
No, he didn't kill any, but he fucked them up. Like, okay, there was one incident that but this happened outside the ring.
Okay.
The guy didn't die, but he got and this one cat, like, they grew up in the same area and shit. And the one dude became a gangbanger, and at one point he had a match, an actual fight against Tyson, and Tyson beat his ass. He felt that there was some bullshit in that. And later on, I think he ran him down in at a suit tailor's place, and he tried to run up and be like, "Yeah, you on my streets now. You gotta give me." And Tyson beat the fucking ever living shit out of him. I don't think people the kids right now will not understand. Mike Tyson was in interviews, and he would sit here and say, these people are training for fight, for competition. I'm training to take years from their life and in their career. There's always the jokes in movies about wishing a motherfucker would. Mike Tyson woke up with that mentality every day back then.
Yeah.
He's been saying it a lot in the build up of this fight. The difference between him and Paul is Paul's a manufactured killer. I'm a natural born killer. And it's hard not to take that as is if you know who the fuck Mike Tyson is. And for any of your youngins that might not know who Mike Tyson is, I suggest you go watch some tape. That's the second round.
Right.
Put it that way.
A lot of
And
one-round knockouts. I think he got told off at various points because the fights were ending too quick. And the
yeah,
customers
the
would get
promoters are
mad.
bro, we advertised the fight of the century, and Mike Tyson's is pretty much it's not my fault. He's a bitch. Get good. Mike Tyson was the original get good guy. But yeah, they pretty much the promoters and everybody started to get on Tyson. It's bro, you're and on one hand, I see where they're coming from, but it's a fight. At that point in time, the less time that this motherfucker has to hurt me, the better. Is my mindset.
Right.
There just should not be any. I just don't want people to go in there and also we need to temper our expectations. It's not prime Mike Tyson, but I just want people to remember it is fucking Mike Tyson. Honestly, prime Mike Tyson, this might be even better than it's apparently the last piece of the manga for Super that Toriyama worked on. Brawley had just attained control over his Berserker mode.
Yeah. I think he was training with Gohan.
Well, it was kind of a brawl between him, like it started in a brawl between like Goku and Vegeta, then like Goku tagged out, then Vegeta was like, Goku, you should get in here too, and then they're both, it's like a three-way, and then Brawly sits there and like he sits here and he's like, ooh, I want to play too, and then through watching Gohan, he somehow understood the calming of the beast.
Yeah.
Like I kind of feel like that's kind of a potential that we'll see in Tyson. We're not seeing Berserker, like we're seeing I have that shit under control. And Lord have mercy if that's the case. Well, because like you think about it, like Tyson really like he looks good for any age, let alone the fact that he's fucking almost 60.
Right.
Like he's mentally stronger than he was in his prime, though. That's for sure. And that, like that, I think is something that I don't think people are giving him enough credit on. Like this isn't like Ali when he decided to come back in for cash because he was strapped for cash, and he still thought he was the greatest. And I've actually watched that match. It breaks my heart. Ali, like Ali is forever the greatest, but that match did not reflect. And like that's also what I'm hoping we don't see on Friday. Like I'm kind of nervous for that. Like, but I don't know about you. I'm kind of excited about the whole aspect of being able to watch a Tyson fight to begin with.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I've
we were
never.
young when he was like we weren't really giving a fuck about boxing when he was ruling the earth. Like, hell, when he when he won the world title, we weren't even born yet. So, we never really got to enjoy Tyson aside from movies and watching old shit and everybody talking about Tyson. Uh, my actual half brother was talking about it because like he was sitting here talking about this fight and like how special it is and like how he always regretted that he never got to see a Tyson fight. He lives in the area. He's going to see the Jake. He's going to be at the Jake Paul Tyson fight. Like, and I'm like, it's just so nice because there's that generation that knew who he was for what he was, that never actually got to properly enjoy it and watch it, and rightfully so. Like, this man was just beating the ever living dog shit out of people. There was not much they could do it to stop it. Like, it was not a sporting event; it was a bloodbath in most cases. But before we get into like full on that, there's a couple of like we discussed anime that we both found near and dear to our hearts. It was a very good anime, not too like we're both kind of got mixed feelings on how it ended, if I remember correctly. But for today and how it pertains into society today, we're going to be talking about Keegan Assure. Now, this isn't like most anime where it's like if you don't have Crunchyroll, you can't watch. This shit came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
So
Very good show. Love it.
if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you give it a shot. Like it's a very interesting premise, which is why we wanted to talk about it.
For what?
Uh,
So basically, the major corporations of the world, or at the very least, I think in
Japan, at the very
Japan,
least.
at the very least, each have a fighter that represents them in fights or perhaps even a tournament. Um, the fights are often over, like, well, I want this if I win, and if you win, you get, whatever the agreement was. And so then their two fighters would meet at a specified location, duke it out, and the winner, winner takes all type of thing.
It's a very
And
interesting concept and a very interesting way to do business. Which is why I kind of like. It's kind of right for fan-spiracy because what if, just what if, that's actually how the world works?
that would be pretty crazy. Not too surprising if you think about it, but it would be crazy.
Hear me out, though. Hear me out. What if it went down to even political parties were like had their fighters up in there, they had their interests looked out in there. Like, there's a lot of cool possibilities. Like, the anime raised a lot of important questions to me. And if either of us turn up dead, it's probably because we started asking questions we probably shouldn't be asking at this point in time. But it's fan-spiracy. This is what we do, man. There's a lot like throughout that. Honestly, there's still a couple of. The only thing I don't like is there's still a couple of like loose ends in the whole thing that I didn't quite get. And I again, the ending just part of the ending just miffs me because, damn it, I want answers.
Well, the show is no longer fresh on my mind, so I can't exactly recall.
Understandable, like, but Toma's motivations somewhat seem to shift eventually. It seems.
Oh, yeah, they certainly did. He had a whole arc of character development and growth from what he was at the beginning till the end of the show. It was really,
And
really cool.
it was, but at the same time, there's like certain things of I want to know what's going on with the guy who owned the corporate, the guy that Oma was representing. I can never
Oh,
remember his damn
yeah, I
name.
can't think of his name.
But like, it seemed like he was setting up for something else, and I'm like, I'm kind of curious, and like also, I'm kind of curious about like the talk him and his son had when he got home.
Hatsumi Sen?
No, Sen Hatsume fought for the Nogi Corporation. He was a fighter.
Yeah, I was. Then it didn't understand what I asked.
Watch. Easiest way to do it would be search Tokita and see who he represented.
Well, this is not as easy as it should have been to
Uh,
find. We'll have to get onto Netflix and look. Some ridiculousness.
no, no, man. I will know Yamashita.
Yeah, I don't know why that was so difficult.
I just searched Oma Takita and scrolled down, and then it went to people also
Yeah,
searched for Kazuo
Yamashita
Yamashita.
Kazuo,
Like, I want to know the conversation that motherfucker had with his son. Uh,
or is it Kazuo Yamashita?
yeah, Yamashita.
Well, no, is so I can't remember. Was Yamashita his first name or last name?
Last name. It was Yamashita Corp.
Yeah,
But I do want to know like what happened with him and his son.
yeah.
And
Well, I think uh, at the end, I mean, they kind of started to develop the relationship.
well, they just had a conversation saying we'll talk when I get home. I want to know how that talk went.
Right.
Like, then he was actually off to start Yamashita Corp. I do think it was kind of cool of the guy that owned the company, like Motorhead, the Motorhead whatever corporation.
Uh huh.
I think it was cool of him just to be like, oh yeah, Nogi, you're the chairman, by the way. Well, you're in deep shit if this doesn't go through, right? Like, I have no desire to be the chairman, and like that was a good fight.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
starting to remember how the fight went now.
Like he was just like, I didn't even want to be in this damn competition, but my buddy asked a favor, so here we are. So do you want the gig or not?
Yeah.
I would wager, had it not been such a tournament going through the level that they did, had Oma had more time to rest in between fights, he'd have taken it.
Yeah. See, that was the big thing, is that Oma was already tapped out whenever he did the final fight. And that, I believe, is the main reason he lost. Now, it's very possible he might have lost regardless, because I forget his name, but he was apparently very skillful.
I don't like.
And
I think even can't remember his name either.
might as well just look up the cast for Keegan Assure.
Okay, he's not one of the folks that ended up popping up on the screen, but I do know he was called the Devil Lance. The Devil Lance,
Yeah.
even when he was in the middle of the fight, and his inner dialogue was like, if this guy wasn't already like half dead walking into this fight, like I might not be so confident in this fight. Like, because I think his primary motivation was he wanted to find his friend's murderer.
Yeah.
And then he found him. And then he also found his friend's student and found out that one of his friend's murderer happened to be his student as well. Like, there was a lot of murder around, like, one guy.
Kuroki. Kuroki Gensai.
Yeah, inside the Devil Lance.
I found a list of the tournament participants.
Hell, that's a smart idea, actually. Like, actually, speaking of some, like, I love most about it, though, is, like, it was especially long seasons. And the episodes were only like 20, 30 minutes. And it did such a great job building each of these characters.
Yeah. Yeah, it had some great character building.
Like, still kind of upset about Oma. Fucking asshole. Like, I was reading something right now that said apparently after Oma had collapsed, the doctor had replaced his heart with a clone of his heart or some shit.
With a what?
A clone of his heart?
So he might not be dead.
No, no, no. After he collapsed in the in the restaurant, and then they took him to the
Oh,
medical bay for that period of time while the takeover was happening.
well, where was the surgery scar?
That's what I'm wondering. That's why I'm like, what? Like, but this might also have been from the something that happened in the manga
Oh yeah.
that I just don't know about. So it is like something like I said. Like I just saw it in passing. I didn't really deep dive in it. It popped up when I was looking for Yamashita.
Yeah.
But I just want to take this moment to think about, like, can you imagine, like, Amazon, Shopify, Etsy, and all these people, like, oh, we're having, like, over the digital e-commerce market, we're going to fight about this. Okay, we're going to get most traffic this year. No, 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 no. And like Amazon Spider just be dog walking. Like he's like, you know what? Both of y'all send your posts. Like I don't even want to do this one at a time. It's wasting my time. Send them both.
Like Nintendo, Xbox, or Sony, or I guess Microsoft for
Well,
Xbox.
actually, the funny thing about that was Nintendo was actually represented in this competition.
Yeah, but it was spelt different, slightly.
Yeah,
I wonder who the Motorhead company was supposed to be.
I think it was supposed to be Harley Davidson.
I
It
was
was a
thinking,
motorcycle. Could have at that point. I'm thinking like an American, like it would have been like an American muscle. Like the reason I say with the motorcycles is because I'm pretty sure Gensai rode a motorcycle. He gave off the biker vibe. I could be wrong. I'm not quite like they never really go into what Motorhead Corporation did per se. Like, to be completely honest, I don't even really know what the fucking Nogi group does. I know that the one drunk friend that Yamashita made like owned like the largest bookstore or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, but aside from that, I don't know what like a lot of these. Lahito had a moving company. The rest, a lot of these other corporate, like aside from the ones that were just like the electric company and shit like that, like
Yeah.
I have no clue what a lot of these places did.
Right.
Aside from like I think one was like like one was Sony's television brand. Because I think one of the competition, like one of the side bet that got quashed was the like he was betting Sony TVs, which was code for stock. If y'all don't know, for those of y'all who have not seen the show, so it begs the question of like if that's like the case, if this is how the world works, what companies do we think need to get better fighters?
Probably have to go back and watch the show to see which companies they did, but
No, not in
there
there.
was
I'm talking about if this is how the real world works. What companies do we think need better fighters?
I
Like,
don't
because
know.
obviously there's certain companies that probably we can tell just have like shitty fighters.
McDonald's seems to have a pretty good fighter.
Yeah, I would say like all the fucking like McDonald's and
Burger
Burger
King,
King, Jack in the Box, like
Wendy's.
even Whataburger has a good enough fight. Like,
I could see Wendy's having some feisty, badass female fighter.
like, but then okay, like historically, let's think about it. Blockbuster and Hollywood Video probably needed better fighters.
Yeah, Blockbuster reigned for a long time, but once digital video media came out, it was just a downhill battle from there.
Actually, like once they passed up buying Netflix, it was a downhill slope from that. Like
Yeah,
before Netflix became what we know as Netflix, and it was just delivering DVDs. Netflix tried to sell themselves to Blockbuster, and Blockbuster was like, "Nah, this shit's not gonna last."
and how wrong were
Little
they?
did they know they were talking about their brick and mortar old ass. Like, but you gotta imagine like the off-brand companies, like or the lower tier companies and like electronics and such, got the. It's like you get the leftover supplies for annual quota that these guys hit. Like what we don't take, you can have, and
Oh,
if we take,
sorry, like the phone merger with what was it, Sprint and Verizon?
yeah, who got to say like it was T-Mobile and Sprint actually.
T-Mobile?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was Verizon.
no, because Verizon's still a thing. Sprint is no more. Which probably means they probably needed the better fighter because it's like, hey, it's Sprint and T-Mobile, not T-Mobile and Sprint. Like, no, it's T-Mobile now.
Or like Western, what was it, Western Bell, back when payphones were more of a thing.
Yeah.
So, or Southwestern Bell, something like that.
Wow. No, like that just threw me for this. I haven't heard that in fucking forever.
I think I remember hearing that they're still around, just in a different capacity, I guess.
No, like, cause like now that you mention it, I remember when like them fading from memory happened. Like there was a big thing going on, and it was like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I didn't know what the fuck was going on because we were still like young and like that wasn't our fucking business. But I remember it being talked about like in the news and shit in passing, and I remember adults having conversations about it. And I remember as a kid absolutely giving zero fucks that they probably needed a better fighter. Now I think about it and I'm like, they probably needed a better fighter. Like, It's why a lot of other places, like, it's why Zune went out of business. They did not have the good fighter.
Right. Trying to think of some other companies.
Oh my god, draft seats for fucking sporting events. The clubs all have fighters and no one knows about. That's how it's secretly done. Yeah, there's some actual trades that get that shit done, but nah, they have secret fighters. Like, it's
For
just
like,
mind blowing to me that this, like, since this show, no one's actually discussed in detail like what this could look like nowadays, and like if this was a real thing, how this led to certain monopolies, and I want to know who certain people's fighters were.
right, or even go to like a national scale, like a specific fighter for a country. Imagine if that's really how the world wars were settled.
Well, no, that's another thing that I was gonna get to too. Like, especially like, what if like they had like a whole global, like it's like, yeah, we have the each nation has their own, but then they have their global one of like which nation sits supreme, and like secret like Bruce Lee didn't die. He's just been fighting for America for like the past 50 years. Like he's
Russia needs a better fighter right now.
if that was like I wouldn't say that they need a better fighter. I would just heap praise on Ukraine's fighter. It's like
I heard that some of them Ukrainians got in Russian territory and like I forgot exactly what they did, but they invaded one of the cities or maybe the capital.
there's no way in hell they invaded Moscow. But
Well, they got to one of the cities.
yeah,
I think.
they might have got up to a border city, but they did not invade like Russia.
Here,
I know they've take. I think they've taken back a few cities because keep in mind Russia invaded them.
let's see.
Like if they invaded Moscow, we wouldn't be talking about the war in Ukraine. We'd be talking about the Ukrainians whooping the Russians' ass.
On the Kursk region of Russia is where Ukraine launched an attack. I'm not sure what region that is, but that's
Yeah, but an attack can mean they could be doing airstrikes for all we know.
yeah. Well, either way, that still says a lot for Ukraine. Like even getting that far.
Well, the fact that they like by week one they had effectively stopped Russia dead in their tracks
Yeah,
without real help from anyone else. And it wasn't just like their military; it was straight up civilian. Like I'm not sure if you ever played any of the Homefront game. This ass whooping you're about to receive, that's for Mother Russia. You can take that back there. Like no, like since day one, like I was always impressed with that, how the like just the resilience and resistance that the Ukrainians put on.
yeah.
Like, so in that case, like, it wouldn't be surprising that they had like just some top-notch fighter in there, just like, Russia, you can only get this far into Ukraine
All right.
before we make you look like a bitch. Those were the terms, pretty much. How far do we let you come into our country before we make you look like a bitch? That's how that fight went.
Yeah, Russia's terms were probably like you will submit and rejoin, and then Ukraine's fighters like, well, this is what's going to happen.
Like they were like, we agree to that as long as you agree to the terms that we list after we win the fight, if we win the fight. And then they won the fight, and they're like, okay, we're gonna allow you to invade, and then we're just gonna dog walk the shit out of you for the next 2 years.
It's just so crazy that I mean, great for Ukraine playing it out, but that doesn't look for good for Russia at all.
It really does.
And sad to say, I mean, they've kind of got a bad track record. They've lost how many, what are now countries in that
Well,
area?
I wouldn't say like technically all those countries they didn't necessarily lose those countries so much as like when the Soviet Union fell apart, those countries left, and there wasn't much they can do about it because well the Soviet Union was in shambles and they were trying to. rebuild and shit. But there's a lot of like I feel that there's like so many like even for the fast food, who gets to release a new kind of sandwich? Who gets to partner with the latest anime or whatever? Like who gets what deals?
You know what I just thought? You know, like just going off of that, what if Chuck Norris was fighting for America, and that's why where all those memes come from?
But we've seen
They
Chuck
hide
Norris
the truth,
regular.
but they hide the truth in plain sight. They speak the tales of his badassery, and it's passed off as like
I don't know. I think it's more believable with Bruce Lee just be like he had to fake his death, and then like watch the reason Chinese and U.S. relations are tense is because they found out we lied about Bruce Lee's death, and we've just been using him in the tournament. He's been leaving
he was
peacefully with
pulling
his
a Master Roshi.
yeah, just chilling. Like everybody's like, wait, like watch, mark my words, 2025, Bruce Lee's gonna come back. Be like, yeah, I've been fighting for the United States of America in underground tournaments.
That would be wild.
But earlier, you asked who I thought would win between Chuck Norris and Jet Li.
Yeah. So if Chuck Norris was in his prime versus a prime Jet Li, to my understanding, Jet Li in his prime, he had to slow himself down for the cameras to
Yeah,
catch him. Chuck Norris, I know he has a lot of combat tournament experience and whatever else possible fighting experience he's accrued in his
due
career.
to sheer speed, my money would probably be on Jet Li. That and I do believe like Jet Li is got a wider foundation, I believe, as well. Like Chuck Norris is a good martial artist. Like there's nothing taken away from that. But when you're out, like it comes down to like video games aside, some people are just cheese characters in real life. When Jet Li can hit someone 5 times before anyone can actually physically react, like that.
Yeah.
Like they never had to slow Chuck Norris down for cameras, even in the old ass days where he was actually in his prime making movies. However, to be fair, from what I heard, like it really depends on like. I'm not saying Chuck couldn't do it. I'm just saying like from my thought process of how I think, like I would say Jet Li has the advantage. Like Chuck has size, but Jet Li's one of the few people where I believe size literally doesn't matter. It does not matter when he can hit you 20 times to your one fucking swing.
To a point, yeah, I would agree. But sometimes the bastard's just too damn big, and you gotta find other means to take him down.
No. I agree, but like at that point, like he like Jet Li also does like they had a whole movie about it, like the Kiss of the Dragon.
Is that the
The
one where
man,
he would stab the needle in your neck and
yeah,
kill you?
he knows pressure points, so he
Yeah.
doesn't hit just to hit somewhere. Like the bigger guy might take a bit more effort, but he's one of those people that like the bigger guy might go to actually legitimately go down. Like it's not like what like and this is not to say that every small guy trained up that well can do that.
Right.
Jet Li was a phenom, a physical phenom, and like that's undisputable. That's my point. All respect to Chuck Norris, he was just like what really set him like he was a great martial artist, but what really got him recognition was the fact that he was a Caucasian martial artist taking out a bunch of people in tournaments. Like he was a world renowned martial artist. And like at the time that was kind of like it
That
was
that
at
and he could kind of act or You know,
Yeah,
he could act.
but the issue, the thing was at the time, it was before the big kung fu being bang. It was at the renaissance of that where that was coming to be, and Chuck Norris just happened to fit the perfect archetype of what they needed for, especially in response to Bruce Lee. We need our all-American martial artist hero. Chuck Norris fit that
Yeah,
perfectly. And I'm not saying that it's anything wrong. I'm just saying he fit the archetype of what they needed when they needed.
yeah,
But in the realm of martial artists, and even martial artists that act, I wouldn't even like. I personally wouldn't list him in my top five. It's not because I don't think he's a great martial artist. It's I know there's better martial artists that act out there. There have been. Like, is he a great actor? Absolutely. I love Chuck Norris, and I have all the respect in the world for Chuck Norris. I just think there are better better martial artists than him. And in Jet Li, I feel he's a better martial artist, and like I said, he is a physical phenom. The shit that he does, I don't think that a normal human should be able to do. But
gotta
you
say,
know
my
what?
favorite Jet Li movie was Unleashed.
That was a fucking great. Honestly, what these people what I would really love for them to do, since they like to do these racially inspired appreciation months for film and movies, I would like for one of these streaming services, just one fucking time for this, to give me all of Jet Li's movies, give me all of Jackie Chan's movies. Give me some shit, man. I get yeah, there's a lot more actors but you have to understand the people that introduced us to that whole world were these individuals. Like, give me some Chow Yun Fat, some Sam Ho.
Yeah,
Like, give me give me the people that laid the foundation for the people that are here today. You know,
yeah,
like because I can't find I can only ever find rare, and it's a rarity. I can find one or two of their old stuff. Like now it's all the stuff they've done in the 2000s. Motherfucker, I want some of the 90s and 80s shit that they did. I want some of the shit that they did when they were still in China.
like Jackie's Drunken Master, because he did
Yeah,
two of them.
yeah,
There was the original one when he was very young.
yeah. Damn.
I think I got to see that movie because you had the VHS copy of it, or your mom did.
Yeah. And then also at the frat house we had a bunch of just classic 90s fucking VHSs from fucking back in the day too.
Yeah, my dad tried to collect a bunch of movies, but people stole them.
Haters.
Yeah, I had a lot. I tried to help a lot of people that turned out to just be haters.
I should have put more
And if
heads on
any of y'all
Tyson.
see this, y'all know who you are. Shame on y'all.
Nick, I had to throw him under the bus. Didn't help that certain people were addicted to stuff. Wild time. But yeah, we watched a lot of wild shit there. We even discussed that there was that one Rocky movie where the video game pissed off the one boxer and it set off a whole ordeal.
Yeah, where they did the simulation of a prime Rocky versus I don't remember the fighter's name, but said that Rocky in his prime would have beat that guy. Then he got all but hurt, had to fight an older
Old
Rocky.
ass Rocky.
I think kind of similar to like how the Jake Paul and Tyson thing is. I think it was a similar age gap
It might be actually, yeah.
Because what is
Actually,
Paul in his late 20s, early 30s?
yeah, because Logan's about our age. Like he might be early 30s. I think because like Logan's his older brother, but like it's close in age. So he might just be a couple years younger than us. Oh no! This is why we have Google. Like, why am I making this hard on?
Sometimes we still forget how easy it is to access information.
Well, it's also like I would rather just not be like on camera, like with my phone in my hand. I feel it's rude. Oh, shit! Could have sworn these motherfuckers were like okay.
They're younger?
Jake Paul is not even fucking 30 yet, or Logan Paul's not even 30 yet. Jake Paul's 27, which honestly, at that point, I think this kid should reconsider this.
Yeah, I mean, even if I was a trained fighter,
Motherfucker
I
talking about.
still wouldn't want to get hit by Tyson.
Well, like my thing is, this motherfucker sitting here talking about like Mike Tyson was my hero growing up. Motherfucker, you weren't
And then
even
wasn't he
born when
also
this.
talking shit about him? Well, I mean, that's probably part of hype, but at the same time, it's like,
But like, I gotta say, motherfucker, you weren't even born when this motherfucker was fighting.
right?
Tell me this guy was your hero. You were not old enough to register any of his fights that happened after you were born. You were born in '97. Tell me fucking Mike Tyson was your hero growing up. Shut the fuck up. Biggest load of bullshit I have heard in my life now that I've seen their ages. And like actually it kind of irks me even more now that Logan Paul's in WWE because like at that point in time you're like in the prime of your youth and you're doing one match every few months and you have to practice like a month in advance that one match. Like it's fucking irking.
Sorry, I got to go see what the dogs are barking at real quick. Be right
No
back.
doubt. So yeah. With that in mind, while he's gone, I'll just go ahead and let y'all know this is y'all Wednesday episode, and this is actually Wednesday. I'm sorry, especially for the Patreon viewers. I'll be getting us back on schedule here soon. It's just been a rough couple of weeks. Holiday season coming up, so we're being a bit we're dragging our asses. I'm not even gonna. Plus, I'm teaching myself web development and app development. There's a lot going on. So that aside, we're going live Friday night after the after the fight. We're gonna discuss this shit.
Back. Of course, dogs are dogs barking at only they know what.
It happens. My cat just stares at a wall. Like I'm like, man, like the ghost's not gonna get you, bro.
That's probably why he's staring at the wall. He got it cornered.
Yeah, I'm like, but I just informed the folks that we will be going live Friday after the fight. Figured out, like, it's not necessarily content, but it's it's nice to inform them. And I was like, this way we can get back just to combat. I don't know how best to say, like, there's no way, like, there's no way nice way to say this. I just want to see this motherfucker get knocked the fuck out. Like, I want, like, I am not going in there to watch. I am going in there to watch Mike Tyson hurt another human being. I want Mike Tyson to do Mike Tyson thing. Like, I just don't like Paul brothers. I don't. I think they're disrespectful little shits.
It seems to be a common theme, not theme, but consensus. There we go.
I mean, there's just people that like them, and like for certain reason, like it depends on what reason you like them. Like, because on one hand, I admire what they've done. Like, as much as I don't like them as for what they seem to, or the kind of people they seem to be to me, I can't take away from their business acumen and what they've done. Like, kudos to them, but I don't fucking like them.
Yeah.
I think that they seem like shitty human beings, and like they kind of air their dirty. Like actually, Logan Paul was banned from Japan for being a shitty human being.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, like WWE was doing a couple of events over there, and Logan Paul couldn't go because he's banned from Japan.
So what
And
did he
like
do?
I don't actually like I remember I don't like speaking in
Was he being disrespectful like the trend is going on?
he he kind of set that off. Hold up, I'll find out the exact thing
Well, of all
because
places, why are you going to piss off Japan? Like, there's a lot of beautiful stuff there.
people are disrespectful. Oh, because this asshole went in. Okay, okay. Especially if he thinks. Okay, you know how Japan has the haunted forest known as the suicide forest and shit?
Yeah.
He went through there and then he found a suicide and decided to record it and make content out of it.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
All while wearing a fucking dumbass Pikachu beanie. And yeah, he's banned from Japan for that dumb shit.
Was he banned because he went into the forest or because he
No,
recorded?
because he was disrespectful to a dead person. Like
So it's not
the fact.
exactly because he recorded. It's just that he was being disrespectful.
Well, no. Like the recording is part. Like the recording in the forest wasn't the problem. The fact that he sat here and started making content from a dead body was the problem. If
Was
he
it
had
like a
just been going
skeleton
through,
or something?
no, it was somebody that had just committed suicide within
Oh,
like a brief period of time. Like it was a perfectly preserved body. Like the problem was in his disrespectful ass, like he thought it would be funny to make fun of it. Like on top of that, that person has a family. Like you gotta
yeah.
understand the cultural no, like it
The Japanese
Japan.
culture takes suicide differently than the Western culture does.
Well, it's not even just that. They take respect a lot differently. It's not like they take privacy and respect a lot differently. It's not like
Right.
America where like something misfortunate's happening to you, everybody's taking out their smartphone to fucking record it. Like Japan has like this is it's not even just it's Japan. Everywhere that's not the United States has different norms and cultures. And what's becoming a really stupid trend, and Logan Paul is kind of one of the people that started this trend, is nuisance streamers that go places just to fucking cause problems.
Didn't we just recently talk about one of those streamers that got arrested?
Yeah, he's actually full on charged in South Korea now. I was watching another one about like actually no, I was watching who the fuck was it that I watched talk about what recently? I can't remember which individual I watched talking about it, but there was one that was talking about the guy that shot a guy in the mall and got off, and like, oh, it wasn't okay. Here's what it was. It was actually a comedy stand-up that talked about this. That's why it's in my mind right now. Because it was trying like it was a comedy special. Guy was talking about the Mike Tyson Logan Paul fight, and he was trying to explain how Jake Paul came up through like YouTube stardom and doing stupid like doing shit to catch people's attention and grow from there, right?
Yeah.
And he brought up how this one dude sat here and was annoying the hell out of somebody in a mall and kept on getting in his face with the phone, and the guy shot him. And then like the news is interviewing this cat, and his dad's mad because people are sitting here saying his son deserved it, and like the news asks him, "How do you feel about being shot over this? Do you feel that it was an overreaction?" And like the dude was like, "Nah, it is what it is." Like Like, it's part of the game. And I'm like, at least he doesn't hold any ill will for him fucking around and finding out.
Right.
Like, I can respect that. Like, okay, you understood you did some stupid shit. You don't regret it, but you understand, like, you're not mad at the person that shot you for doing stupid shit to them. Okay, I don't like the fact that you do stupid shit, but I can at least like respect the fact that you don't blame the person for shooting you. You understand that, and I'm not condoning any of this. Like, mind you, like, I don't think anybody should be shot for anything, but I don't like these nuisance streamers because at a lot of point in time, what they're doing is they are getting into people's personal space. They're making unknown movements. People don't know what their intentions are. Like, the world's a fucked up place.
And then they want to wonder, hey, why are you being aggressive, or why are you resorting to violence? Like, stop being a douche.
Yeah, like a nuisance streamer like should never be anywhere near me. Ugh. Like, they would not have a good time, especially if they invade my personal space. Now they just want to be yelling, but like I hate the ones that sit here and start doing stuff and just like not necessarily being aggressive with their touching, but are touching you all the time. Like, hey.
Right.
Like, that would just be my go-to reaction. Like, get that shit out of my face. Like, I would Beerus Bulma. Just like, bam. Fuck you doing in my face. And no Vegeta's coming to save you.
Right.
Like, nuisance streamers as a whole, I don't know what, like, I know why, and it kind of saddens me because there's the only reason it is what it is because there's a sick side of humanity that does enjoy seeing people being fucked. There's people that enjoy being bullies vicariously. Mind you, there's also those that see it and they're using it to address these issues and be like, oh, but like at that point in time, when you sit here and point to that video and show more people that video, you're like, some of these people are monetizing this content. And I like, there's a consensus from a lot of YouTubers and other streamers that shit needs to be cracked down on. Like, because if you're going to sit here and monetize somebody doing stupid shit, harassing, insulting people, doing stuff that is clearly wrong, and really doing it, not doing it as like a skit or an act, not doing it with the blessing of people, but just going to foreign countries and being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like,